What's up, guys? Welcome back to the review and discussion for UnOrdianry episode 317. Guys, we got a bit to go through today. So I hope you're ready to buckle in because, we've got to go. We've got to get into this. So, So the episode starts out with Arlo and Cassandra being a part of a big announcement from the authorities about the recent raid on the Spectre facility. And once again, we run into the manager of all the bureau branches, which Cassandra informs Arlo, and therefore us, the audience, of who he is. It's the Waluigi-looking guy who declared Spectre a terrorist organization, and therefore also said Serafina was a wanted criminal. And we also get his name as well. His name is Leon. It's Leon. And once again, I prove that I am the favorite child of the UnOrdianry fans from Uru because I don't know if you guys remember a while back me popping up this little thing right here from Uru, asking for help with unusual boy names. And it just so happens that in addition to suggesting Oren, though spelled differently, and Uru did confirm this wasn't intentional, I did also suggest Leon. So I think it's really cool, and I think it's really interesting that two names I suggested got picked to be unordinary. One of them was not picked because I suggested it. Uru did confirm with me that she actually chose Oren to name Oren because of his orange hair. But I still think that's really cool. And also the really weird fact about that is that's two names I suggested for two people in positions of power, of positions of leadership in UnOrdianry. I just think that's really cool, honestly. But so while he's talking to Arlo and Cass, he introduces himself and like kind of greets them and everything. And honestly, he comes off as genuinely proud and curious about them as agents. He actually talks to them a bit and, kind of goes over everything like, hey, like, I heard you guys got injured. Like, how are you guys doing and everything? And honestly, that makes sense. This guy wouldn't have any reason to be suspicious of them. And while we as the audience are aware that he's labeled Sarah a terrorist and we clearly don't like him, he honestly hasn't done anything too unreasonable. Sarah is technically a criminal, and she was unfortunately caught doing illegal acts for Spectre. Now, he's kind of done everything that a leader should do. Don't get me wrong, though. I'm sure there's a laundry list of stuff that this guy has done, definitely relating to Ember as well. But nonetheless, nonetheless, I think you also got to realize this guy, he's clearly going to be a villain, but this guy isn't necessarily evil yet. And for all we know, Uru could be doing a king of bossing say type thing, not knowing anything about what's going on really, and just being a pawn and a figurehead puppet for the authorities. I highly doubt that's the case. I'm fairly positive that this guy is like, kind of an evil mofo. But nonetheless, he introduces Cass to the public, stating that she took part in that investigation on the Spectre facility. Cass then announces to the public that she will be responsible for the case and the investigation of Spectre. Sarah then sees this announcement and notices Arlo, and she informs Layla of Doc. However, we don't get to see much of their reaction. We see their reaction when she tells them it's working. Layla just kind of gets caught off guard, and Doc kind of has his usual face. So we don't get to see their reaction after she tells them what's going on, that she believes that Arlo is going to be able to help them out. But I do feel like Doc is skeptical of everything that's going to happen. Uh, but, and while Sarah is excited, and I do want Sarah to be acquitted for her crimes, based on what happens next, I don't think she'll get off that easily. Now, Rain. Rain is in Lovan prison, unfortunately. And Cass does visit her, and saying that she can't get her out at the moment, since she could still be under Oren's command. Now, like I said in my reaction, that honestly doesn't make sense, unfortunately. Rain could still very much be a liability to the authorities, and when Cassandra tells her that, Rain is furious, and I understand completely why. I understand both sides. I honestly do understand both sides here. But one thing that I really appreciate is that while Rain is screaming that she's innocent, and she obviously is, Cassandra sticks out for her still. Cassandra tells her, I'm sorry that I can't get you out now, but I still want to help you if you need anything. She offers to have Rain call her out anytime she needs anything, if she can. But Rain brushes this off. Now, I think if Rain doesn't get murdered by Liam in the next couple episodes or at some point, I think that this could actually turn her to Spectre's side. I think that Liam and Candace could probably show up and Rain can tell them, I want us to talk to Oren. I'm ready to work for Spectre. And it's sad. I totally understand Rain's perspective. I understand why she's upset. I do think it's very unfortunate that a person who truly wanted to help her is being brushed aside because they're not strong enough. They're not strong enough in the political sense. They don't have enough influence to be able to save Rain. But the person who's willing to manipulate her and brush off anyone he deems a useless pawn with a lot of power to help people out, but also to manipulate them for his own gain, probably can save Rain from this situation, but it would just make her situation a lot worse. I honestly think this part of the story is really interesting on Uru. It's a really good choice to make this. Rain is caught between two rocks in two hard places right now. And I think we could definitely see something happen. And I don't want Rain to die, but she very much might. Maybe Liam shows up, but maybe Cassandra told whoever the guards are, look after her 24/7 and make sure nothing happens to her, make sure she's safe. Who knows? Now, this did get me thinking, though. What if this is what Oren was referring to with Liam and Candace? What if they were betrayed by the authorities in a similar sense that Rain felt in this moment, trying to explain a poor situation that they were in, but they were just ignored and brushed aside. We saw it with Remy, we saw it with Sarah, so yeah, maybe they just had enough of that, and maybe that's what Oren meant when he said, you don't know what they've been through. To Cassandra, that is. Now, we head back to Wellston, and Arlo arrives with everyone mentioning and mumbling to themselves that they saw him on TV. Zeke catches wind of this and wonders how he got involved with such a big case. Uru likes to show things for a reason, and she likes to set things up for later. So I have a feeling that Zeke is going to be lurking around and find out that they're trying to help Sarah, or that he's going to catch wind of everything with that and use this against Arlo. I have been saying I think Zeke is going to definitely become a problem. Uru has shown that this power is already getting to his head. So I think he will definitely try and use something to get Arlo out of the way so he himself can take a pretty big case or a better promotion than Arlo. Zeke is cunning and he does know how to kiss up. So we'll have to wait and see. Arlo, fuck him up. Anyway, John then checks on Arlo while they're in the hall still, and he notices that Arlo is injured after John taps him on the back, and Arlo reacts hurt. John asks if he's okay, wondering if he's been disabled, But Arlo informs Jean he's just injured for the time being. The two then head to the roof and they begin talking about everything, and Arlo breaks down the mission, encountering Liam and Candace, but they had managed to escape with Orem, but they did manage to arrest a lot of agents that should be able to provide a lot of info. Arlo then also mentions that he was officially hired as a part-time agent. He even mentions that Cassandra is now requesting a pardon for Sarah, which they are hopeful that will work. And John tells Arlo, hey, I appreciate you, man. And honestly, I really like that ending. Do I think that everything is going to go well? That Sarah is going to get her pardon? I don't. I think that the authorities will speculate that Sarah could also be under Orn's control, and if they do give her a pardon, it could be a trap to imprison her. So, I don't think that Sarah will be getting her pardon, unfortunately. Granted, I do still appreciate everyone trying their hardest for Sarah. I appreciate Cassandra willing to hear Arlo out and request it for him. I appreciate Arlo risking his future career, something he has been working on his entire life, to help out a friend. I'll say it, to help out a friend. Everyone's working together now. Everyone's starting to work together. Remy, Blyke, and Ison still need to be looped into their Spectre and Authority stuff, and I think they will eventually. I think they will soon. Blyke said, "Hey, when you need backup, we got your back." So everyone's gonna get looped into everyone's shit at some point. But this was a good episode. It was a good discussion episode, as it should be, because we just had a major fight and major action. But Uru, you did a really good job with this episode, and I really liked it. Also, I did like seeing a name that I suggested pick for UnOrdianry. But honestly, with all that being said, I would honestly give this episode a level 8, honestly. It's a pretty solid discussion chapter, and a lot of things happen in this episode that I'm a fan of and that I think work really well. But honestly, the next episode is even better. But let me know what you guys thought down below in the comments, and as always, see you, Space Cowboy.